Life doesn't send a warning. It doesn't knock gently on your door and ask if you're prepared. It arrives like a wrecking ball, sudden, violent, absolute. And most people, they crumble, they panic, they beg for someone to save them. But if you want to be powerful, you don't get to react like most people. You don't rise by being ready. You rise by being unbreakable, even when you're not ready. See, Machiavelli didn't write for the comfortable. He didn't care about the well-fed or the well-liked. He spoke to the discarded, the broken, the betrayed, because power doesn't begin when everything's going right. It begins the moment life fractures you. That's when the real game starts. When everything's stripped away. When there's no money, no certainty, no allies. That's when you finally meet yourself. And if your mind is still fragile, you'll drown in self-pity. But if your mind is sharp, detached, alert, you evolve. Pain isn't your enemy. It's your instructor. It's the force that separates those who've been merely tested from those who are forged. And the truth is brutal. This world doesn't care about your emotions. It responds to what you become. So when life exiles you to the dark, don't panic. Don't scream. Sit, observe, analyze everything. Let your thoughts scream instead. Watch them, trace them, hunt your weaknesses down like a predator, and then starve them. Don't reach outward for comfort. Reach inward for clarity. Because once your mind learns how to hold its ground under pressure, you become immune to the manipulations of the world. No one can bend you if you don't bend yourself first. You're not here to be liked. You're not here to be soft. You're here to become dangerous. To everything that ever tried to silence, soften, or sabotage you. And if something deep inside you is beginning to shift, then say it out loud. Right now. Type it. Own it. Pain sharpens my power. Because that is how the rebuilding begins. Rule 1. Weak minds seek comfort. Strong minds seek control. Here's the truth most people never want to hear. Comfort is a trap. When most people are hurting, they chase distractions. They want someone to soothe them, something to numb them. They scroll endlessly, binge food, call people they shouldn't, all just to avoid facing their own minds. And that's exactly how the world keeps you weak. Addicted to ease, addicted to escape. But if you ever want to be untouchable, you'll need to rewire your brain's relationship to pain. Machiavelli understood. Real power isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling your own reactions. And most people, they've never even tried. They've been trained to go numb. Trained to self-medicate, to blame, to avoid. But the man who rules his own psychology, he rules everything. So while the masses chase pleasure, you train focus. While they seek validation, you choose silence. While they spiral in panic, you craft a plan. That isn't coldness, that's discipline. And sure, they'll say you've gone cold, that you don't feel anymore, that you've changed. Let them talk. They only say that because your silence makes them uncomfortable. Your detachment makes them nervous. And your indifference? That terrifies them. But you're not here for their approval. You're here for mental obedience. Your own. And that doesn't come from softness. It comes from standing in front of your worst thoughts, your deepest fears, and refusing to blink. That's the point where most people break. But not you. Not anymore. If you're ready to master your emotions, not suppress them, but rule them, then speak it now. My control is my revenge. This isn't just self-help. This is warfare. Say less, power more. Rule 2. Break the emotion, build the edge. You were never weak because life hurt you. You became weak because you let that hurt take over your judgment. You gave your emotions the driver's seat. You let chaos call the shots. And the second you did that, you handed your mind to the enemy. Understand this. Pain is not the problem. Your interpretation is. In psychology, control of meaning is control of reality. Life will break your body, yes. But if it also breaks your mind, then you were never prepared in the first place. This is the part people avoid, the painful truth that reacting emotionally doesn't make you authentic. It makes you predictable. And predictable people are controllable people. The world watches how you respond. If your reactions are automatic, they own you. They know exactly how to provoke you, which words to say, which silences to use, how to pull your strings. And every time you take the bait, you prove to them you're still theirs. So how do you flip that? You become emotionally disciplined. Not emotionless, disciplined. Feel the fire, but don't act on it unless it serves your goal. Cry if you need to, but only in the places no one else sees. Speak less, but when you speak, make it cut. Refuse to waste energy arguing with people who've already decided who you are. Why? Because your attention is sacred. Your emotions are currency, and not everyone deserves access to them. Machiavelli said, "It's safer to be feared than loved." That's not cruelty. It's strategy. Because love, in its naive form, clouds judgment. It ties you to illusions. But fear keeps people on their toes. They second-guess their motives. They measure their words. They feel your presence, even when you say nothing. That's the edge, not brute strength. Psychological sharpness. Power that doesn't shout, because it doesn't need to. So the next time life throws fire at you, don't react. Don't run. Don't break. Stare straight through it. You've been broken before. Now, it's time to break through. That's the difference. If you're ready to replace emotional volatility with cold mental precision, type it now. I feel nothing. I move with precision. Let that be your new code. You're not here to feel louder. You're here to think sharper. Rule 3. When you're not ready, act anyway. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Waiting to feel ready is just another form of fear. People think courage is the absence of fear, but Machiavelli knew better. Real power? It's moving forward despite the fear, especially when you're unprepared, especially when you're uncertain, especially when you're not in the right headspace. Because if you only act when you feel ready, you're a slave to your emotions. You're not sovereign. You're a puppet. The mind feeds you a million reasons to delay, to wait, to overthink, to heal first. But you don't get to heal in isolation. You heal through confrontation. You heal through action. You heal by proving to yourself that you're more than your story. And the story that says you're broken, burn it. Rewrite yourself through your decisions, not your emotions. You're not supposed to feel ready. That's the point. Readiness is a lie, a myth created by people who never built anything real. The warrior doesn't wait for calm. He creates calm inside the chaos. The storm doesn't scare him. It sharpens him. So when your heart's racing, when your hands are shaking, when your mind screams, "Not yet," that's when you move. Because you're not here to be perfect. You're here to be dangerous. Say it. I act before I feel ready. And if you believe that, if you really live that, then no one can stop you. Not the pain, not the fear, not even you. Rule 4. Burn the ideal. Build the self. There's a version of you that only exists in your imagination, the ideal self. Confident, successful, powerful. Everyone's chasing it. But here's the trap. As long as you're chasing that, you're never owning this. Your mind keeps whispering, I'll be strong when I'm finally like that version of me. But that thinking will keep you stuck forever. Because the ideal isn't real. It's a mirage, a fantasy, a projection. And fantasies don't build power. Reality does. Machiavelli understood. If you want to rise, you work with what you are, not what you wish to be. You don't wait to be healed to start fighting. You fight as you are, scarred, shaking, half broken, but moving. Because that's how the real self is born. Not through perfection, but through pressure. And most people? They avoid pressure at all costs. They'd rather polish their image than sharpen their mind. They want to appear strong before they actually become strong. But that's illusion. And illusions are fragile. The self you build in silence, when no one's watching, when no one believes in you, that's the one no one can destroy. Because it wasn't built on praise. It was built on pain, discipline, precision, repetition. You don't need to become someone else. You need to shed who you're not. Let go of the ideal. Let go of the fantasy. Stand in the brutal truth of where you are and own it. Because the moment you accept where you are without flinching is the moment your real transformation begins. Say it out loud. Own it. I don't chase perfection. I sharpen my reality. That's the foundation of real power. Unbreakable because it's honest. Rule 5. What breaks you builds you. If you stay awake, you've been hurt, betrayed, maybe even abandoned, and the world told you to move on, to forget it, to stay positive. But let me tell you something no one else will. Don't move on. Don't forget. Remember everything, because every scar is a lesson. Every crack is a map. And every betrayal is a blueprint for power if you stay awake. Most people fall asleep inside their pain. They shut down, go numb, pretend it didn't happen. But Machiavelli would say, that's when you lose the war. Not when you're wounded, but when you stop watching. Because pain is full of information. It shows you who lied, who ran, who used you, who you were when you allowed it. And once you see it clearly, without emotion, without delusion, you don't just survive, you evolve. So don't medicate the pain, interrogate it, don't bury it, use it. Turn every ache into analysis, turn every regret into a razor, and build a mind so awake, so observant, so precise, that no one ever fools you the same way twice. That's not bitterness, that's intelligence. Say it now. I remember, and I rise sharper. You're not here to be healed by forgetting. You're here to become unstoppable by remembering everything. Rule 6. Isolation isn't a curse. It's a weapon. When people abandon you, when you lose your circle, when the room grows silent and you're left alone with your thoughts, don't mourn it. Use it. Because isolation is where illusions die. It's where the fake identities, the performative smiles, the lies you told yourself, finally fall away. You're not pretending anymore. You're not performing. You're just there, raw, exposed, watching your mind without distraction. And most people can't handle that. They run back to noise, back to the crowd, back to relationships that numb them, because being alone forces them to face the truth. They don't know who they are without others. But you'll use isolation to become lethal. Machiavelli believed a man should not depend on external forces for power, not the army, not the people, not even fate. His strength must be internal, And solitude is where that strength is forged. It's where your mind becomes a fortress, where your boundaries get sharper, where your voice stops trembling, where your energy shifts from scattered to surgical. So don't rush to fill the silence. Sit in it, train in it, bleed in it if you have to. Because one day, when you're surrounded again by people, pressure, politics, they won't recognize you. They'll still talk the same. But you'll see everything differently, clearer, colder, quieter. You'll speak less, move smarter, strike harder, because you learned the most dangerous skill of all, how to be alone without losing yourself. Say it out loud, right now. Solitude sharpens me. That's not isolation. That's preparation. Rule 7. They want you emotional. Stay tactical. You ever wonder why they provoke you? Why they insult you, ghost you, lie to you? Just enough to trigger you, but not enough to be clearly at fault. Because they want you emotional, reactive, predictable. Because when you're emotional, you become controllable. Understand this. The moment you react without thinking, you hand them the keys to your mind. Your anger becomes their victory. Your outburst becomes their excuse. Your pain becomes their leverage. Machiavelli taught this centuries ago. If your enemies can bait you into rage, they don't need to defeat you. You'll defeat yourself. So stop taking the bait. People will disrespect you, lie about you, underestimate you. Let them. You don't need to correct their perception. You need to protect your energy. Move like a ghost. Watch everything. Say nothing. Because when they don't get a reaction from you, when they throw chaos your way and you don't flinch, they panic. Your silence becomes your sharpest weapon, and your calm becomes terrifying. That's how power is built. Not by screaming louder, but by calculating deeper. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their drama, smile internally. You've already won, because you're no longer reactive. You're strategic. Say it now. I respond with strategy, not emotion. That's how you go from being played to playing the game. Rule 8. Your past is data, not identity. Most people drag their past like a corpse. Every failure, every betrayal, every moment they were humiliated or ignored, it clings to them, defines them, controls them. But Machiavelli would tell you, the past is only powerful if you believe it still owns you. It doesn't. Your past is data. That's all. Information. A field report from your earlier self. A record of what didn't work. What blinded you. What broke you. It's not a prophecy. It's a pattern. And patterns can be broken. So stop saying, I've always been this way. Stop saying, this always happens to me. That's victim language. You're not cursed. You're just repeating. And repetition only stops when awareness starts. When you finally stop identifying with the pain and start extracting its code. Why did that betrayal wreck you? Why did you ignore the red flags? Why did you shrink yourself to be loved? Trace it. Name it. Burn it. Because if you don't break the pattern breaks you. Say it now. I extract data from my past. I don't live in it. You're not a prisoner of what happened. You're the architect of what comes next. Rule 9. Learn to speak power's language. Here's what most people never realize. Power has a language, and it's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's not about dominance or aggression. It's about clarity. When you walk into a room, the powerful ones don't shout. They observe, they say less, but mean more. Every word is chosen. Every pause is intentional. Every silence is strategic. Why? Because the powerful understand this. When you can control your words, you can control perception. And when you control perception, you shape reality. Machiavelli knew that persuasion, not brute force, was the ultimate weapon. So ask yourself, do you ramble to fill the silence? Do you overshare to seek validation? Do you speak to be liked or to be understood? Start practicing silence. Cut the fluff. Speak with weight. Let people lean in to hear you, not back away because you're overwhelming. Because when your words are rare, they become valuable. And when your presence is disciplined, people feel it even before you speak. Say it. I speak with clarity. I move with weight. You don't need to convince everyone. Just make them listen. Rule 10. Power begins where permission ends. There is no right time, no green light, no final confirmation from the universe saying, now you're allowed to rise. You have to take that moment, not wait for it. Because the people who win, they don't ask for permission. They don't wait to be discovered, validated, invited in. They claim space. They step forward when no one calls their name. They act like they belong, before the world agrees with them. Machiavelli would remind you, politics, success, respect, none of these are given freely. They are seized, strategically, relentlessly. And most of the world is asleep, waiting. Waiting for the apology. Waiting for the confidence. Waiting for someone to finally say, you're enough. But here's the truth. No one's coming. No one's giving you the life you want. So what do? You stop asking. You stop seeking. You start becoming. Right now. Not when you're ready. Not when you're healed. Not when they believe in you. Right. Now. Say it. I don't ask for power. I become it. Because that's the final rule. And once you live it, deeply, ruthlessly, without apology, you'll never be powerless again. You want to become untouchable? Then start living like the world owes you nothing, and you owe yourself everything. Not through fantasy, through force of will, through awareness, through relentless clarity. Because the most dangerous person in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one who saw everything and said nothing until the moment came to change everything forever.